Green Arrow issue 12, Benjamin Percy, and the return of artist Otto Schmidt on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Much
And
appreciated.
this was Oliver back in the city. It's the start of a new arc. Emerald Outlaw, I believe is the name.
Yep.
Cool. I remembered that. I'm
Just check the front cover.
proud of myself. Yeah.
I like that they tell me that on the front cover now.
I like it. Yeah, it's good. The only thing I wish DC did now was a wee recap page. I'd love a recap page.
Yeah, they have that online thing, don't they?
They
Where
do,
They
but
have, they have that site where.
I have to go and find that though. See if it was just a nice little paragraph, just summing up what the last issue
you know what
was.
the thing is though? They should link it through Comixology.
They could do that.
They're
Yeah.
reading digitally.
But yeah, just throw it in as a link at the, as a separate download PDF thing. Be easy.
Yeah, that would be good. But anyway, what do we think of this issue of Green Arrow?
It's pretty good.
Definitely not subtle though. Like Percy is getting less and less subtle.
Oh no,
It's-
but do you know the thing is though? I feel like if there's one book where you can get really upfront about the social issues you're tackling, it should be Green Arrow, because that's his whole point. Is he is upfront about it, and he is.
Yeah.
You know, we have police brutality in this. We have, we have an argument between a guy dressed as Green Arrow and a guy dressed as Batman arguing about being an SJW versus.
And being shit Batman, which I almost felt was a dig at the show.
Yeah, I kind of got that as well. It was funny though.
That was so great. But I just love that because I've heard that in my comic shop about Green Arrow versus Batman. So the spirit's true beyond the shows and whatnot. But
yeah.
But no, just like the character that Green Arrow goes to talk to, I forget his name.
The guy's running for mayor, or he is mayor, and he's running for re-election.
Domini or something like that.
Yeah, that was an old friend of his. Like sounds like a certain presidential elect. Like he pulled.
Oh, it is
Domini.
Domini.
Yeah. Pulled straight from campaigning in the real world. Yeah. So, which I think that says more about the real world than the comics, when it sounds more, believable in the comic than in the real world.
Yeah, it was like that part where the woman protested him and shouted back, and he was like, "Oh, get rid of her any way you can." And they all just start grabbing her and throwing her down. That feels very, familiar from a couple of months back.
If it wasn't, from a couple of months back, I would have been like, "Oh, get out of here."
Yeah,
this is comics. I get.
If this was a year ago, you go, you wouldn't even think about it. You'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty brutal."
Yeah, and I like that they're using Green Arrow as that social cause character that he was in the Hard Traveling Heroes with Hal Jordan in the 70s. But just sometimes Percy, it's why I love him, but also why sometimes he drives me nuts, because he did this all before too. That very first arc with the missing homeless people in Pennytown,
Yeah. So we also have Ollie and Dinah and Diggle building him like a new treehouse in the forest, which, sure.
Why not?
I'm cool with it. I mean, it made for some fun dialogue and stuff, and him and Dinah, of course, still have great chemistry, and that's coming through in the writing, which is great. We start with a lot of news broadcast stuff talking about, is the Green Arrow a hero, is he not? We even have the idea of the police brutality when Green Arrow shows up to take care of the cop. The woman's filming it on her phone from the car, which again feels very real life from recent months, and this public perception of Green Arrow shifts. So, what's his face? I keep forgetting his name.
Broderick.
Broderick, thank you. Matthew Broderick. I'll just remember that, even though he's not Matthew. But I'll use that to remember his name. But so his master plan, he seemed like a chump in the first arc, where I didn't really buy that he was the actual villain. But the more we're getting into this, the more he seems like he's actually sinister enough, because he's
peeling it back. Yeah.
His plan at the end is every single person that we've seen be positive about Green Arrow on the news broadcast, including the news reporter herself, all get murdered with arrows, with green arrows.
Well, but it was even the people that weren't, because the one lady that gets the arrow through the chest was saying how he forced her to donate to charity.
You're right. It was her as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
it was just a bunch of them then,
sense. Yeah. It was just all these people that were talking about him, and murdered with green arrows, or assaulted with green arrows. Which is actually, kind of genius, because that's how you get people to turn. It's the court of public opinion.
It's the using the media against him.
But what works really well about this, though, is that ever since that first arc when he lost his name and he's been presumed dead, he's been constantly saying in the narration, "Oh, I lost Oliver Queen, but I'm still Green Arrow. I still have that." And Dinah, reinforces that again. She says, "You're still Green Arrow. Take care of that. Be that. Don't try and fight to be Oliver again." And his plan at the end of this is to take that away from him as well. To take this one last thing that he has. So it makes it feel just that extra bit personal. And I think that makes it a bit more exciting, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I wonder who Broderick was talking to. Oh, what, Connor?
No, that's a small thing. I'll save it after.
Okay,
who was Broderick talking to?
Yeah, he was talking to whoever was launching the arrows. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a classic Green Arrow villain.
I could see them going both ways. They could reveal him to have whoever working for him, or it could just be he's got a team of henchmen who have been out and shot arrows at people.
I kind of hope it's someone that we know. I feel like we've had a lot of Archer-based villains for him already. Do we need another one so soon after we had Komodo not that long ago?
Well, but I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that it's just his regular henchmen that are just using the arrows. Like, they're not actually
I get that, but they seem very good shots for that.
That's fair. Like I said, I could go either way.
I haven't seen Merlin the Magnificent in quite some time, so this would be a nice reintroduction.
He used to be Ra's al Ghul,
No?
Not in the comics.
No, Malcolm Merlin. Yeah, Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah, Malcolm Merlin. Yeah, Malcolm Merlin used to be Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. I heard Merlin. I couldn't resist making that joke.
You can't, can you?
I got you. Well, I almost called him Malcolm Merlin just based off of the show, but
it's so ingrained because you haven't seen him since before you saw that version.
Yep.
I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't remember him popping up.
He was gone for the Outsiders. He was gone. I mean, basically since before New 52.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in the New 52 at all.
No. So if this would be a nice reintroduction, if that is him.
Yeah.
That was a solid issue.
Yeah, just the small thing I noticed is we've finally given up on Channel 52 News.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
This is
Coma News too.
Coma. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was just a big deal. That how everything was Channel 52 for so long, and it bled into the TV shows.
It's just believability. They have to have more than one channel.
Yeah, well, it didn't stop them for the last 6 years, did it?
Yeah, local news.
Well, no, but it's local news. Like, they wouldn't...
They still use it for
just think about the amount of news. I get that, Connor, but I'm just saying, I like that Percy brings it to the personal, to the Seattle area.
Yeah, it's just more believable, because if New 52 News, if 52 News is the main nationwide news channel that everyone uses, then it makes sense that maybe some of the cities would have their own thing. Like, I'm sure when we see Vicky Vale reporting on something, it tends to be just a Gotham-based channel.
We haven't really seen her reporting anything.
It's been a while. Don't get me wrong.
And if we do, we just see her. We don't see the screen very much with the logos. We just see her on the site usually.
I feel like it's been too long to even... I can't even argue that point.
The last couple of times I remember seeing it, it was like we were at the scene with her. So we weren't seeing it through the news. I can't even
tell you when the last time I saw Vicky Vale was.
It's been a long time. But the point I'm making is I'm pretty sure she's not reporting for 52. She's probably reporting.
You have to imagine, too, that in this universe that there's an entire news organization centered around superheroics. That covers Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. And that's like CNN, but just for superheroes. And maybe that's what I almost said what Pete did. The Channel 52.
It's really hard not to, because you have to really think about it.
52.